Okay, hello guys, this is Luqman Rafiq here. Welcome to this AAA orientation session for the December, for the March 2022 examination session. I hope that you all are doing well. So we are just going to start off with this AAA, the Advanced Audit and Assurance orientation. We are going to discuss what is this AAA all about. We are going to discuss that what are the key components of the syllabus, the teaching methodology that I am going to adopt, and how am I actually going to help you complete this examination, inshallah, in the very first attempt that you will be studying with me. So let's just start off. The first thing that I'm going to start off is that I've got the AAA syllabus in front of me. Probably just wait a bit. Let me go on to this AAA syllabus. Okay, so I've got this AAA syllabus in front of me, and you could see that the syllabus guide that is in front of me is for the September 2021 to June 2022 examination sessions. So what we are actually doing right now is March 2022 examination session guideline that we are going to be discussing about. Now, the first thing with respect to the AAA is that a very important, which is to understand the connection of the syllabus. I repeat, which is to understand the connection of the syllabus with the different subjects. So you could see that this paper of AAA is actually connected to audit and assurance, which we call F8, and it is also connected to the reporting paper, which used to be called P2. So you could see that there is a connection between this AAA paper and the audit and assurance paper of the applied skills level and the strategic business reporting paper. So there is actually a connection between them. Now, first of all, I would actually like to discuss a bit about this connection, and then I'm going to move forward. A lot of the students, what happens with them is that they end up failing this F8 paper. So maybe like 2 attempts, 3 attempts, 4 attempts. A lot of people, when they attempt this F8 audit and assurance, they are usually not able to pass in the first attempt. So when they do consider the AAA, they actually have got this bad experience of the F8 paper that they don't want to carry forward that bad experience to the AAA. So they get very confused that we were not good at audit. So should we actually go ahead with AAA or not? So for those of you who unfortunately did not have a good experience with F8, now let me just guide you a bit. With respect to the F8, there is only 20% of what is expected at the AAA level. There is approximately 20% of what is expected at the AAA level. The SBR, which is the reporting paper, is expected to be around 40-45%. And then there is this AAA content, which is going to be the balancing figure. That's what is going to happen with respect to AAA. So if you were not good at F8, you don't have to worry. Because when it comes to the F8 paper, it was more of a generic auditing paper. Now, what do you mean by generic auditing paper? You would actually be required to apply the different type of ISAs into the different situations. You would actually need to know the details that what does ISA 500 says, what does ISA 300 says, what does ISA 450 says, etc., etc., etc. So there were a lot of things which were specific to the ISA that you were required to rote learn with respect to the audit and assurance. But when it comes to the AAA, it is a completely practical paper. It is a completely practical paper where even you don't have to mention the name of any ISA. Not even the name of a single ISA is required to be mentioned. Now, the most essential skill which you actually are expected to bring forward from the F8 or from any other paper that you do at the ACCA level are the drafting skills. This paper of AAA unfortunately has got a very bad pass rate. I mean, that's the similar type of pass rate for the other papers of the professional skills also, professional levels also. So the approximately pass rate for this specific paper is between 32% and 35%, or let's say 36% over a period of last 8 attempts. So if you would actually refer to the last 8 attempts, you would realize that the pass rate of this paper is quite bad. And the way I read this 32 to 36% is that you could do it this way, which is 1 out of every 3 pass, or it actually takes 3 attempts to pass, or it actually takes 3 attempts to pass. Now, a lot of you would be wondering that this is a very bad pass rate. No, this is not a bad pass rate. This is the exactly same pass rate for almost every optional level papers. So why is that so? The reason being that majority of you are working. The reason being majority of you are working and you don't actually get time to study. So when you are usually attempting the optional papers or the professional stage papers, majority of you are on job and you don't actually get time to study. You get confused with your personal lives, you get confused with your jobs. So at times, the preparations are not at the level that they should be. So that is one of the reasons for the failure at the AAA. The second major reason is basically the lack of accounting standard knowledge. The second major reason is lack of accounting standard knowledge. And the third important reason for the failure is basically inability to draft the answers. The inability to draft the answers, the inability to express yourself is unfortunately one of the biggest issues that the students they face. I repeat, that is one of the biggest issues that the students face. So when we actually talk about, I repeat, when we actually talk about this specific, yes, the hash, you can take it. You can take it. That is not an issue. Okay, so there is basically the lack of accounting standard knowledge. There is a lack of drafting technique. And the third thing is that you don't actually put in a lot of effort in preparation because you get caught with year ending where maybe possible audits, with maybe possible the reporting deadlines of your job, etc., etc. There are multiple things that happen. Now, one thing I've mentioned over here, the accounting standard knowledge. I've mentioned here the drafting of the answers. And the third thing is I've mentioned over here the 100% completion of the course. Now, let me just give you a bit of a guidance that why have I mentioned about the accounting standard. So always remember, the audit starts once the accounting ends. The audit starts once the accounting ends. So if you are not good at accounting, you cannot be a good auditor because you are actually checking the financial statements that are whether they are prepared in accordance with IFRS or not. So if you are looking at financial statements that whether they are prepared in accordance with IFRS or not, so what should actually happen is that you should be, I repeat, if you are looking at financial statement to see that whether they are prepared in accordance with the financial reporting standards or not, so you should actually know what the financial reporting standard says. So it is going to be very important for you to have a good accounting standard knowledge. Now, there could be 2-3 types of a student. One, who have not attempted SBR at all. There would be students who would be attempting SBR plus AAA in this exam. And there would be third category of people who have already done SBR and now they are on to AAA. So now, ideally, if you are from this specific category, then you would have to work a bit hard. You would have to work a bit hard because you need to cope up with the accounting standard knowledge also before you will be able to attempt this paper. I repeat, you will have to cope up with this accounting standard knowledge also before you are able to cope up with this paper. So the important thing is that, I repeat, the important thing is that those who are from this category, they would find things to be difficult. And those who are here would find a bit difficult. And those who have already completed SBR would find relatively things easier. But again, if you have attempted SBR 2 years back, 3 years back, you might have actually forgotten all the accounting standard. That is something that's going to happen. So basically, let me just give you a bit of a guidance. You could see that this is basically our web portal of Scriber Academy. And on this web portal of Scriber Academy, there are multiple chapters. And there you see this specific accounting this chapter, which is accounting standards and audit procedures. So what we have actually done in this specific chapter is that I have actually performed a quick revision of all the accounting standards that are relevant to this SBR, this AAA course, so that you don't have to go back to the SBR. You don't have to go back to the SBR registers, and you could just have a quick revision. You could just have a quick recall from here. So that is what I have actually done here, and all of you could benefit from it. I repeat, all of you could actually benefit from it. So this is something that I have done with respect to the problem that the students face about not having sufficient accounting standard knowledge or not having time to revise them. The second thing that I actually want to make sure is that students, they have got issues in drafting the answers. The students, they would have issues in drafting the answers. So for this specific course of AAA, you would be submitting me around 8 examination questions, 8 to 10 assignments. I would rather say not 8, I would say 8 to 10 assignments written, and I would actually be giving you marks on those. So that is 8 to 10 examination questions that you would have to attempt, and then you would have to actually submit to me, and I will inshallah be giving feedback to you people on them. It would take me around 1 week to give the feedback. I would not be able to give the feedback before the expiry of 1 week, but it would actually take me around 1 week to give the feedback. Now, so these are the few things that I've actually covered up in order to address the issues that the students face with respect to passing the paper. And I've also explained to you the connections, that what exactly are the connections. Now, let's move a bit forward and let's try to see what is the syllabus structure. As you could see that this is actually a 3-hour 15-minute paper. What is it? It's actually a 3-hour 15-minute paper with a section A having 50 mark, and the section B, there are basically 2 questions of 25 marks each, which makes it 50 marks. There's section B, which is 2 questions of 25 marks each, which makes it 50 marks. So you have got a question worth 50 mark, and you've got 2 questions worth 25 marks each for the paper. And this is more or less the similar type of pattern that you would find in the other papers also, which includes the the other paper like APM, like ATX, like AFM. So you'd find the more or less similar type of structure in that. Now, let me give you a bit of an idea about the syllabus, that what exactly is the syllabus all about. So if you could actually look at this specific syllabus, I'm actually going to pick up a screenshot of this whole syllabus so that I could actually discuss with you people that what exactly the syllabus is all about. Now, you could see that the syllabus has got multiple aspects. There are multiple parts of the syllabus. What are those multiple parts of the syllabus, and what are the contents that are over there? So the one of them is about the regulatory environment. What is this regulatory environment? You do have an idea that it is actually the law that governs the audit, that governs the audit. It's the law that brings in the requirement for the audit. So the various laws and regulation which are prevalent in the various countries and which have an impact on the audit are going to be discussed here. Like for example, money laundering laws, for example, the communication with those charged with governance, etc., etc. There could be multiple type of things that we would actually be required to do and discuss in this specific section. Then you've got professional and ethical considerations, where what we would be doing is that we would be talking about the code of corporate governance. We would be talking about the code of ethics, and we would actually be dealing with the scenarios which are going to be with respect to this code of corporate governance and the code of ethics under the given situation. The third thing is about the practice management. When we talk about the practice, so practice means the audit firm. The practice means the audit firm. So when I talk about the practice management, it is actually how the audit firm maintains its quality. It's how the audit firm performs the engagement. It's how the audit firm trains its employees. So generally, we are going to be talking about how an audit firm operates. how it should operate, what should be the best practices, etc., etc. So if I talk about this is specific, these three sections of the syllabus, these three sections of the syllabus constitute around 20 to 25 mark, and to list down, they include the quality control, they include code of corporate governance, they include code of ethics, they include the laws and regulations. So generally from the examination perspective, these areas constitute around 20 to 25 mark of the paper. So when you will actually be attempting this AAA paper, expect that you would be encountering around a question or maybe possible some part in one of the question and a question requirement of around 15-20 mark with respect to this specific, I repeat, with respect to this specific syllabus area. So that is something that you would actually be encountering. Now, let's move a bit forward and let's talk a bit further. So if I talk about this planning and conducting the audit of historical financial statement, so it is actually going to be the complete aspect like planning. And then what happens is that the performance stage of the audit. So the actual audit, the real audit would be performing over here. And as I mentioned, the accounting standards knowledge is essential. So this is the area where the accounting standards knowledge is also going to be examined. So from the exam perspective, you could expect this area to be of 40 marks, 45 marks, something like that. That is what this specific examination area is going to be. So when you are going to be attempting the exam, this is the core area of the syllabus where the actual audit is performed. I repeat, where the actual audit is performed. Then you've got the completion and the reporting, which is how the audit report is going to be issued. And I would suggest that it's a 10 to 15 mark of the syllabus. That is what this area is going to be. 10 to 15 mark of this area of the syllabus. That is what this area is going to be. And then you've got the other assignments. Now, let me give you a bit of an idea that what the other assignments are. You would know that there is an institution which is known as IAASB, which is International Auditing and Assurance Standards Board, which is the International Auditing and Assurance Standards Board. So I repeat, there is an institution there's an organization which is known as IAASB. So when I talk about the IAASB, let's just try to understand this. IAASB has got certain pronouncements, and those pronouncements, I mean, there are many, but I'm just referring to a few of the pronouncements. And those pronouncements include ISA, those pronouncements include ISRE, those pronouncements include ISAE, and the last one is ISRS. So this is actually the international standards on auditing. This is international standards on review engagement. This is international standards on assurance engagement. And this is international standards on related services. Now, an audit firm could be engaged for multiple purposes. What are those multiple purposes? At times you engage the audit firm for the preparation of financial statement. At times you prepare the audit firm for the preparation of other reports. You engage the audit firms for the assurance, but you say that do not perform the audit because audit is quite lengthy, audit is quite rigorous, don't perform the audit. So I repeat, there could be multiple types of engagement. It could be the assurance engagement of your prospective financial information. It could be your CSR report, etc., etc., because nowadays the CSR reports are also important. So An audit firm, when it is engaged in the assignments which are other than the audit, so the audit firms, they don't apply ISA. They apply these three ISRE, ISAE, or ISRS. So the examination, the examiner says they are the other assignments. And from the examination perspective, it's an 18 mark, 17 mark, 15 mark, 20 mark area from the syllabus. That is what it is going to. And then you've got this current issues and developments, which are the latest development. And then you've got the employability and the technical skills. Now this employability and the technical skills would be developed while you will be attempting the exam in a CBE environment. So when you will be attempting the CB environment, you would actually be learning, because you would know how to how to actually write down using IPIT. You would actually know that how to write down, I repeat, it was actually going to be that how to write down the questions using the Word, using the Excel. So that is ultimately going to develop, I repeat, that is ultimately going to develop the professional skills that are required at work. So if I talk about the AAA syllabus, I would actually tell you it is actually going to be, it is going to be a paper which is going to be mixture of reporting, mixture of auditing, other engagements. That is what it is going to be. And plus, there's going to be emphasis on quality control. There's going to be emphasis on ethics and the laws and regulation. This is what it is going to be. You cannot say that it is just confined to ISA. You cannot say that it is just confined to one area. No, it's going to be the accounting standards knowledge that will be important. It's going to be, to an extent, some of the auditing standard knowledge that is also going to be important. And then the most important aspect is that the quality control, ethics, etc., etc. So it's going to be one of those papers which is going to be a mixture of a lot of things. Now, how exactly would I be taking you through the course? So you could actually see that, I mean, you could actually see here, we've got this learning management system. This is our website, is scriberacademy.com. And on this scriberacademy.com, there are multiple lectures which are available. And you would see that there are multiple practice questions, the past examination questions also. So there are multiple lectures that are available. What is going to happen is that we will be, I repeat, what we will be doing is, I will be giving you a schedule that this is the planner that you have to follow. And on the basis of that planner, you would actually be going through these lectures. And every week, we will have one live class. I repeat, we'll have one live class each week. And that live class is going to be with an agenda. That live class is going to be with an agenda, a defined agenda, established agenda. That what is it that you need to do by that specific class, and what is the topic that we will be discussing. The first live class is not going to be this week. It is going to be the next week that I'll have the first class. Plus, what is going to happen is that I will give you one question for you to draft the answer. We have got our own Scriber Academy's portal. So what you would be doing is that you'll be drafting the answer on that portal. The questions will be made available on that portal. You'll be drafting the answer on that portal and you'll be submitting them for review, and you'll be getting the feedback on those questions. In this way, you will have the CBE environment practice also. I repeat, you will have the CB environment practice also. And when you'll have the CB environment practice also, this is ultimately going to land you into a situation that inshallah, by the time we are going to be ready for the exam, by the time we are going to be reaching the exam, you would probably be ready with the things. Now, there are certain things that I would want you to know is that I'll expect that you will be done with the syllabus by the 15th of February. And after that, we will have a 3-day online live revision session, which is going to be covering the examination question from whole syllabus. So I'll be doing the examination question from the whole syllabus. This is going to be around 14-15 hour sessions. That is what we are going to be doing. So this is the approach that we adopt. This is how we teach. And that's it from my side. And what I would actually say is that we are presently offering a 50% off. Well, by the way, the 50% offer, it expires tonight. Then there is another New Year offer that's coming up, but that's not 50%, that's slightly lower than 50%. So in case if any one of you wishes to enroll with us, any one of you wishes to go ahead with us, you may actually contact with our team. My contact number is, and my team's contact number is +92346 6666 So my team's contact number is this 6666 So that's why it is. And you could actually get in touch with us. You can have an idea that how things are going to progress. So in case if any one of you wishes to ask any question, do let me know and I'll be happy to answer. Do let me know. I'll be happy to answer if you have got any questions. If you've got any problems, if you've got anything to ask, do let me know, please. Okay. Okay, Imran, it's going to be the next week. You will be shared the schedule by, by this by this Thursday, you will be having the planner with you, which is going to guide you that what topics are going to be tested on which specific date. Okay, anyone else having any other question?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir. I just have one question. Like, I know
Yeah,
you've
sure.
already told that people who are attempting AAA for the first time without attempting SDR, it would be difficult
Mm-hmm,
for them. But
mm-hmm,
if we follow the planner that you have for us, and you showed us that number seventh chapter has all the accounting standards needed.
mm-hmm,
So, if we
mm-hmm.
do that, will it be enough for the examination?
Yeah, this. They are very comprehensive lectures, and then I would actually suggest that if you are somebody who's coming from a background where there is no SBR done earlier, so I would recommend that you should actually go through the accounting standards first. There are two types of lectures. One of them are the accounting standards lecture, and the other one of them are audit procedures on those accounting standards. So I would suggest that you should do the accounting standards only. Don't do the audit procedures because that is actually going to become a bit difficult. So you do accounting standards first, then you start the sequence, which is the audit risk, business risk, etc. So the things are going to become easier for you. So that, yes, you could do it. It says that you would have to put in some, let's say, 10-20 more hours.
Okay. Just to revise of the
Yeah, exactly, the accounting
FR part,
standard.
SDR
Otherwise,
part. Yeah.
yeah, otherwise, basically what is going to happen is that uh, you would actually be going through the questions on the audit risk, on the audit procedure, and every now and then you will get stuck. You'll be like, I don't know what are they talking about. So once you would know the accounting, you would actually be in a good position to understand what they are talking about, right? So because you see, try to understand one thing. The audit starts where accounting ends. You get it? Audit starts where
Hmm.
the accounting ends. The accountant has done his job, the accountant has performed his task, then we as an auditor have came in and we are actually being inducted to check his work. So how can we check his work if we are not aware of the accounting standards? So that's the whole key.
Okay. So from the planner, if we start first by the accounting standards and then start with the actual audit part, it would be better, right?
Yeah, that's going to be better. That's going to be much better.
Okay, okay,
Because in that way you won't get stuck, inshallah.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, I've got another one. Hash, you're saying how much time it will take to complete the whole syllabus. Well, the whole lectures, including the practice and all that, is around 50 hours. So if I am saying 50 hours from my side, so you need to input 50 more hours. So that means total maximum 100 hours is what you would be needing. And if I could just say that the time period that we have got, let's say we are in January, so we have got Jan, we have got Feb, we've got 2 months. And in those 2 months, what is actually going to happen is that you have got, let's say, um, 55 means if you spend 2 hours each day, you'll be through, inshallah, on an average. Okay, Kemi Phillips, do we need to read the Kaplan book also, or the lectures are sufficient? Lectures are more than enough. All that I would suggest is that in addition to the lectures, you could just quickly go through the articles that they are important rather than going through the book. Articles are important. That is what I am going to suggest. Okay, that is okay. What exams are they? What exams are they? Okay. Now you see what actually happens is that you already have got access to the recorded lectures. You could just speed up and you could spend more time in going through these lectures, because if you are attempting the BCom, and I'm assuming that you have got this ACCA background, so there is not much that you would have to study. It's going to be an easy walk for you. So I don't think that there is going to be much of a distraction because of the BCom exam actually. Okay, anyone else having any other question, please?
Yes, sir, I have one question.
Yeah, Imran, please go ahead.
Yes. So regarding these lectures related to the accounting standards, if somebody is thinking that he is okay with the accounting standard and he has a sufficient knowledge of the standards, so can we skip the lectures for the accounting standard? We can jump to another session and we can put
Yes,
our
sure, you
closer
can.
areas.
You can. It's
Okay.
just that the audit procedures which
Okay.
are connected with the
Mhm.
accounting standard, you could just directly
Okay.
jump onto those audit procedures. That's it.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there is no any additional or the
No,
new
no,
things
that's
in
not
what
mandatory.
we
That's
can
up
do.
to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that I've
Perfect.
facilitated. A lot of teachers
Perfect.
don't even go for the accounting standard
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
because you see, I I have got a strong reporting background also. So I know that I can deliver those reporting quite well to the students.
I know very well. I have done a CA with you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Aditya, thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Okay, guys. So thanks a lot for attending the session. Thank you for your time. See you, inshallah, in the next session. And get in touch with our team in case if you haven't enrolled till now. I'm looking forward to having you people with me for the course, inshallah.